If you are a speaker, a leader, or a writer, or any creator of any type of product, you really need to be listening to what I'm saying right now because I'm talking directly to you. I want to talk to you about how you can take your idea and turn it into a coherent message, and then take that message and spread it out across the world through a myriad of different channels. I want to talk about monetizing your message. Now, as you know, I've written 10 different books. These are some of the books that I've written here. All 10 aren't here, but these are some of them. Part of the reason that I absolutely love writing books is that it allows me to reach audiences that I could never reach if I was just talking or teaching. But also, I discovered the secret a long time ago. It's not just about writing a book. Listen to me. It's about moving out of book publishing and bringing yourself into program development. Listen to me carefully. I want to show you how this works. The money is in program development. The long-term engagement is in program development. And I want to show you the arc, as it were, or how to get there. Okay. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that your book, I'm really talking to authors. If you don't have a book yet, then still listen, because there are some things that I'm going to share with you that you can use immediately. But I'm really talking to people who are either fully formed authors, so they have a book, they have a message in a book form, or it's in some sort of content digitally that people can buy. Okay, to monetize your message, and maybe that's the first thing that I need to say, you need to have it in a content that is monetizable. Can I just say there? Can I just stay there for a second? Can I just stay there? The fact that you have to have it in a medium that allows it to not just be consumed, but to be purchased. You realize that's what media is. It's just the plural of media. It is literally the vehicle that is used to get the message to the masses. That's all it is. So today we're going to talk about the different mediums or media that there are in order for you to take a singular message and reach the world. Specifically, a message that you already right now have in a package that is monetizable, which is a book or some sort of streamed content that we can purchase, or an on-demand course, or some sort of merch line. I'm talking to people who already have something that they're selling to the public. Pause. Let me just say this really quickly. I had a sales mentor that told me this one time. You can't make money if you're not making offers. You can't make offers if you don't have a product offering, you don't have a service offering. So I want to move you out of the place of just talking about something. This is really for people who are also looking to build themselves as speakers and authors. I want to move you out of the place of just talking about something and move you into the place of being a trusted voice, a trusted authority, a subject matter expert. And in that space of being a trusted voice and understanding exactly what it is you want to say, then we could talk about the myriad of ways to monetize the message. Can I just start right there? What is it that is your message? Before we get to the book, before I talk about the course, before we get into anything specific, I just want to ask you, what are you trying to say? I've worked with executives, I've worked with entrepreneurs, I've worked with professionals, I've worked with people that never finished college to help them with public speaking, to help them with communication, to help them with negotiation. And I have found overall 100 times out of 100, when people come to me and they are stressed about their messaging, or they're stressed about their branding, or they're stressed about what they should have on the front of a book, or to promote a book, or to promote a product, their issue is not with messaging, it is with storytelling. They don't really know what they want to say. They're not really totally clear on what is the message. So we need to start with, what is your message? What are you really seeking to attain? Now, this is not to attain. What are you seeking to get across to the masses? This is not the workshop, and this isn't a workshop. I'm just talking to you. I'm just talking to you today. But really, I want to one day just do a workshop where I bring you from the ideation phase to a message. But right now, just suffice it to say there is a distinction between the idea and the message. The idea is the intangible concept. The message is when it becomes formed in some sort of way. The idea comes from the divine. The idea is metaphysical. It's metaphysical. But the message are the words, are the paradigms, are the perspectives that live around and crystallize that idea into the world. That's the message. So what is your core message? That's the first thing I want to ask you. Because when you know your core message, then we can talk about monetizing it. But we cannot monetize a message that you're not clear on. We're going to get to what I have up here. But I want to ask you first, what do you want to say? And this is the secret here. If it takes you too long to tell me what it is you want to say, you're not clear about what you want to say. One of the most effective professors I ever had at law school said, if you really want people to remember it, make it so it could fit on a bumper sticker. That's the message. It can't be, oh, my message is this, Darrell, and this, and this, and this, because it gets messed up. It gets fuddled. What is it that you want to say? Let's get very clear on that. Now, I wrote my first book when I was 18 years old. I told you, I'm talking to authors. I'm talking to people who have already published some sort of work that's in the public sphere that people can buy. I've been at this for a long time now. I was 18 when I wrote my first book. I thought I was just writing a book. I did not realize that I was launching myself into the public sphere with a message. What was my message? My message then is essentially what my message is now. You are worthy. You can get back up. There's more in you than what you've gone through, right? We can say it different ways, but I have a clear message. I know exactly what it is that I want to say. So the book itself is an outgrowth of the God idea, which I'm conveying, and the God idea is hope. The God idea is that your worth is not tethered to what you've gone through. I can give it to you many different ways, but because I'm clear on the idea, the message itself might change a bit depending on the audience and the, hold on, listen to me, and the medium that I'm using, but I'm clear about the message. Now, how do I help people who are authors? How do I help people who are speakers? How do I help people who have some sort of content out in the world that's able to be purchased? Well, let me show you. Look at the slide. Look at my slide. Hold on. Look at my slide. Give me a second. I want to make it bigger. I want to make it bigger because I want to make this so clear to you. I want to make this so clear to you that you can take an orange. As I'm talking, I have in my mind's eye an orange that I'm squeezing, and I'm squeezing all the orange juice out of that orange. Many of you write the book and you stop. Many of you write the book, you market the book, and that's it. But you don't understand that you're not really seeking to monetize the book. You're seeking to monetize a message. Let me talk. I need to talk tonight. I need to talk tonight because it's a message. It's an idea that's got to come into the world. It's coming into the world through your message and the different mediums that you are using, whether it's a book or some sort of downloadable content or some other thing, and that is only the medium to get the message to the masses. I need you to be clear on that. What is my message? What am I seeking to say? What is the idea that I am seeking to convey? Okay? When I'm clear on that, now I can talk about the myriad of ways that are an outgrowth of this product or service that someone is able to purchase. So what am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is that when you write a book, you don't just write a book, you become an author. When you become an author, there are certain doors that are open to you. And if there are not these doors that are open to you, it is not because the door isn't open. Hold on, I'm going to give you something. It's Sunday. It is not because our gospel is veiled, because our gospel is not veiled. It is because there has been something that has blinded the mind of the looker. Okay? If you have not seen these doors that I'm about to share with you about how to monetize your message and multiply your message across a myriad of channels to make more impact, more money, more influence, more income, then it's not because the door has not been open. It is because you have not seen it open. Do you get what are you picking up what I'm putting down? That's what they say down in the South. Now, as I'm going through these that I'm about to share, if you're listening and you say to yourself, I need help taking my message and monetizing it into one of the 10. I'm going to talk about 10 mediums. I'm talking about 10 ways. I'm talking about 10 methods. I'm talking about 10 vehicles to reach people with your message. And all 10 of these are ways, listen to me, not that I read in a book or watched in a show. And now I'm telling you, these are all 10 ways that I have used personally and made money from, having built a message around an idea, and I have coached people to helping them to do all of these that I'm about to explain. So if you're listening and you say, you know what, Darrell, I never even thought of using my message and monetizing it that way. I never even thought of that vehicle. I need to be your first call. I need to be your first call because you have sat on something that God has given you. I'm about to get into it, but give me 2 minutes to talk to your spirit for a second. There is oil in the house that is going to supply the need that you have. Listen to me. It's in the house. It's not out there. It's not out there. It's not in the ether. It's not in the group of friends that you're looking at. Hold on. This isn't even outside in your network. That's what the Spirit is saying tonight. There is oil in the house that the Holy Spirit seeks to multiply to supply all of the need, to supply all of the need, to supply all of the need. The woman that came to the prophet said, they were about to sell my sons to the creditors. I need help. And the man of God said, what's in your house? See, we've got to talk about what's in your house. We've got to talk about what is in your house. What are you sitting on? What are you overlooking? What are you walking past? What are you shuffling over? What is in your house that has the ability to bring you prosperity, that has the ability to bring you honor, that has the ability to bring you into open doors, that has the ability to bring you into opportunities, to have the ability to bring you into new revenue streams? I want to tell you that there is something that's in your house. You're listening to me and you already have a book. You already have a virtual class. You already have downloadable content. You already have a product on the marketplace. You already have a service. You may have given up on it. You may have sunset it. You may have said it's not going to work. Well, the Holy Spirit has sent me here tonight to quicken your spirit and say there's oil in your house. And now I want you to think about not the thing that you did that maybe did not work, but I want to talk to you about how to reposition it. That's the word tonight, reposition it. I want you to reposition it, and this could be the game changer for you, all right? Very first thing, speaking gigs. You have a book, you should have a speaking tour. You should be speaking about it. Now, I'm laughing because I grew up in Baltimore City, and there's these famous lawyers. I forget their name now. I think it's Jacoby and Bryant. I think that's what it is. And a famous tagline, if you're from Baltimore, you'll know what I'm saying. And they would say, if you have a phone, you have a lawyer. Now, I was young. I was young, maybe 5 at the time. And I can remember asking my mother, Ma, is it true if you have a phone, you have a lawyer? We have a lawyer. And my mom looks at me and says, it doesn't quite work that way. Okay? Because as a kid, I just thought, if they kept saying it and it sounded so cool, if you have a phone, you have a lawyer. But what they were really saying is, it's a theory behind it. If you have a phone, you have access to a lawyer. And what I'm trying to tell you is, if you have a phone, if you have a book, then you have a speaking tour. Then you should have a speaking strategy. You should have a networking plan to get you in front of people who want to hear you talk about what you put in your book, right? So that's the first thing we need to talk about. We need to talk about ways for you to monetize your speaking. This was the first way that I began, of all the 10 I'm going to talk about tonight. This is the first way I began to make money from my book. My first book, Daring to Be Different, 25 Tips for Life and Success. Let me show it to you. Okay. this was the first way I did it, right? I wrote the book, and it was for high schoolers, and high school principals and instructors would bring me in to come speak, right? So now the book becomes an entree for people to get a bigger engagement with the Darrell J. Bennett brand. I'm trying to teach you something. Your book is, if you're taking notes, then you should put this in your notes. Your book is a way for people to get an entree into your wider range of services and offerings that you have. Okay? If all you have is the book, then you are not monetizing your message, not the way you should be. I mean, you're monetizing on some level, but not the way you should be. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing that we need to talk about is one-to-one and group coaching and mentorship. You should have some sort of way that people are able to book you for that. You should have some sort of way that you're able to talk to people around coaching, mentorship, around whatever it is that your core message is in your book. Right. See, we're talking about how to take that message and split it up. It's listen to me here. It's been said many different ways. Build it and then they'll come. You know, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Write the vision, make it plain. We could talk about it in many ways, but this is the point. If you can get clear in your mind in the ways in which you would monetize the message and at least write it down, a way will be made for you to begin to make money in that avenue. It's not enough to just have in your mind and say, oh, I could mentor a coach. Take the time, write it out. What would your coaching program look like? What would your regiment look like? How much would you charge? Just do you have it in your mind right now? So that way when the opportunity comes, because it's not if, it's a win. Because if you have a book, eventually somebody's going to walk up to you and say, I want to know more and I want to be engaged with you. You need to have in your mind already, what are you offering? What is your price list? All right. So one-to-one and group mentorship and coaching, even if you have an estimate. And let me give you a secret. You can use AI to give you an idea of what people are charging in your area for your expertise. All right. The third way, communities, monetizing communities. Right. Now you can either go and speak at conferences and events and meetups, or you could create your own. Like, that's a whole world. You have people who are making millions just by taking a book that they have turned into an entire community around it. That's what Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady, I think it's called. That's why Steve Harvey was so successful with his. He was able to create communities, even if it wasn't directly him, but the people pushing the book were able to create communities behind it. That's how it got turned into a movie. Right? So that's the third way. Fourth, teaching and corporate training. I am distinguishing this from speaking gigs because speaking is more about someone coming in and having you come in and do a keynote or come in and do some sort of address. Teaching and training is more of in a classroom setting, or you are booked for, you'll know it's a training because it's at least 6 hours or so. It's a half day. Even if you're not there the whole half day or 3 to 4 hours, you're being booked as a trainer. It has a different feel and setup, right? And I don't just mean physically, but even relationally in the things you're talking about, even to be brought in, okay? So that is in itself its own piece. And with teaching, we're talking about going in to after school programs or even colleges and universities, and if not offering an adjunct or ad hoc class, you can offer, course, which is a series of classes, you can offer a class. You'd be surprised how many universities would love for you to come in and just teach their students something that you already know. What does that do? It expands your reach. It gets people knowing about you that didn't know about you before, and perhaps gets you to get an intern that could expand your reach even more, right? I'm showing you different ways. Though I started with the speaking, the second way that I started really monetizing my message was through teaching. And what I found is universities, sometimes, yeah, it would take longer to come into a university for sure and to teach as an adjunct or as like a professor status. But there are many student clubs and organizations that would love to bring you in just to teach on a one-time basis. And that one time can turn into a series of programs when you do it well. There are universities around the world, really, that bring me in at different places and different times, right, to teach their students. And it's all around, again, that core message. Okay. All right. Merch. I love talking about merch because the nature of merch has shifted. And this is perfect to bring us into our second slide, because the nature of merch has shifted over time. Merch is now no longer just like, oh, a hat or a t-shirt. That's how it used to be. It could be a myriad of things that, cause people to engage with you or your brand. I have a relationship with one company where they use tap to pay technology to make it so that when you take your phone and you put it against a wristband or some sort of item of clothing or apparel or even marketing material, it leads directly to a website, or it leads directly to an experience where they can pay right on the spot. Right? This gentleman worked with Tony Robbins, and they raised $1 million in an event because what happened was people were giving out wristbands for free, and the wristband was a microchip that people could just tap to pay. At a certain point in the seminar, when Tony Robbins had everybody riled up, everybody, points this thing at their wrist and pays, I guess, $100 or so. And, they're able to collectively raise $1 million. Why am I bringing this up? What I'm sharing is that there are ways now to use tactile methods and technology methods. That's what merchandise is, tech and tactile, in order to get people to hear and feel and experience. That's a different word here. Experience your message in a different way, right? Let's talk about some of the more modern ways. And all of these, again, are ways that I've worked with people in order to expand their brand and to enhance their digital footprint. The first is I've used mobile applications. Y'all know that I have a mobile app, Journey, without the E. I have shared with you about at certain points about how I've gotten students to help me to build it out and how we've used it to help track people in their progress. Right? That app comes directly out of one of my books where I talk about how to enhance your life and how to take your life to the next level. In this case, it wasn't one book that leads to the app. It's a series of books that brings people into this universe, the Darrell J. Bennett universe, where this mobile app then helps track their progress and helps give them motivation and helps them chart what their next steps are in life. So that's one way. Helping people build out mobile apps from their book or their idea is a beautiful thing. And I absolutely love doing it because it's something we couldn't have even talked about 10 years ago. Yes, there were mobile apps, but the price was so inaccessible for the average person. Now there's so many ways to use vendors both in America and offshore to get it done. Intellectual property. Many of you know that I've copyrighted Come Back Swinging. I've actually copyrighted that. Trademarked it. So that means one day I'll teach you the difference between a trademark and a copyright. But that means digital content, anything that you see on physical apparel, Come Back Swinging in the styling that I've styled it in is protected not just in the United States of America, but globally. If you have an idea through your book or that is backed by your book that needs to be trademarked, copyright, registered, patented, we need to have a conversation. I need to connect you with people who can help take care of you. This is not the time to release it to the public and then try to figure out later if it's monetizable. If you have a question about it, the important thing is to get around people that can help you find that out. Next, digital resources and on-demand courses, right? You should have a video course. You should have an on-demand course. You should have some sort of way for people to be able to have a companion resource with your book. It's the easy next step to integrating with your book, right? Integrating with your brand after your book. Think about it this way. I come into your sort of brand world by reading your book. All right, let's now take that from a book and let's maybe say the next step would be a course. After the course, they want some sort of coaching or mentorship. After that one-to-one, they're looking for ways to tell their friends about you. They're looking for ways to bring you into maybe their organization or bring you into some sort of group or tribe that they have. You want to have a way at that point for them to be able to get referrals for that, or to be incentivized for bringing people to you. This brings me to licensed programs. There's a way to create content and create a system, even if it's not the content itself, that has your program licensed, that allows your program to be scaled, that allows people to be able to be monetized and incentivized money-wise to bring people to you. We're talking now having some sort of affiliate program that's connected to your offers that now expands you even more, right? And then tokenization, right? This is one of my favorite ways. One of my books, actually, several of my books were sold as NFTs. And one day I'll do a whole talk just on what NFTs are. I know they lost a lot of steam when crypto died out, but NFTs are truly going to make a resurgence, maybe not in the way that they did before, but it's just really, it's a cool way for things to be saved for all time. That's essentially what we're talking about. So when we're talking about tokenization, we're talking about ways to memorialize things for all time or for the foreseeable long-term future. All right. And again, I've both used this personally, made money through it, helped other people. And there's actually another way that I haven't even mentioned here yet that we're working out now. That's like a game changer. So 10 ways as I come to a close for you to turn one message into income. And my desire is that you find at least 2 or 3 ways that work for you to monetize your message. Okay. DM me, reach out to me, LinkedIn me, well, this won't go on LinkedIn. This will just be on Facebook. So Facebook me or any of the other platforms if you're interested in me working with you to help you to turn your one book into a myriad of different messages and monetize those messages. Have a wonderful day.